Good morning. Today is 30th May 2022. Because our country is faced with many difficult times and many of these problems are associated with high expressways, I thought of actually doing a lecture on Southern Expressway STDP project, Southern Transport Development Project, from Matara to Mattala with Andhra link at Matara. So this is again about, I think it was done in 3 packages and maybe about 100 kilometers of total length, because there are Mattala link and then Andhra link and so many things. So in this project, this was originally awarded to a Chinese contractor in 2014, and then when Hapalne came, it was held up. And in 2017, they were given the go-ahead, and when they are doing projects, Road Development Authority has no say in the project because projects are done by ministry, and then ministry gets engineers from Road Development Authority to work for them, where they go on secondment basis. So Road Development Authority has never ever constructed any expressways in Sri Lanka, and all the expressways in Sri Lanka have been built by Ministry of Highways. So it's a misconception that, RD engineers are involved in fraud, all kinds of things, but none of them have any validity because RD has never ever built an expressway in Sri Lanka. All the expressways are government projects, and government projects are not handled by boards or authorities. They are handled by the ministries. And so Ministry of Highways will always handle expressway projects, and it comes directly under the Secretariat of the Ministry of Highways. And this is very true when I was heavily involved in Southern Highway. Actually, I worked very close with the Secretary of the Ministry, not with RDA. And the Secretary of the Ministry was Admiral Vasantha Karnagoda. So we worked very closely because he knew management, I knew engineering. So we got things done. And then we had the brilliant engineer Nimal Chansere, who actually looked after the project from ministry side when the highway was extended from Galle to Matara. As far as I can remember, it was a very low cost, something like 4,000 million for this some 32 kilometers, because we were not constructing a road afresh. We were actually widening a road. So basically the cost was kept very low, and even out of that 4 billion, some money was saved, and all that extra money was used to rehabilitate the road network in that area. So basically these expressway projects have benefited the locals a lot. So this project was awarded without, as I know, it did not go through a competitive bidding process, but it was given directly on negotiated terms to a Chinese contractor, and the Chinese contractor hired a firm owned by about few engineers, and one of them is the current Director General, Engineer Sardar Veerakon, and he is actually a brilliant highway engineer and a bridge design engineer, and or elevated highway engineer. So basically, he got many of our graduates on my recommendation, and then they train. I also train them, and so today we have brilliant expressway design engineers in Sri Lanka. And at the moment, many Chinese firms are hiring their services for the huge projects in Africa, where the African countries need the designs written in according to British standards, and our engineers are masters of doing that. So Chinese companies are now hiring our engineers to do their projects in Africa, and the design part is done by our engineers. So the whole highway from Matara to Mattala and Andhra Hamathar connection, all were designed by Sri Lankan engineers, and then our Department of Civil Engineering also helped a lot with hydrological studies. Professor Lalit Rajapaksa and his team was heavily involved, and they use very new survey methods, and I know for sure they use drone surveys, LiDAR surveys, so many things, and then all the designs were done very nicely to assure that the highway is designed with the latest technology. And Professor Lalit Rajapaksa has satellite data as well, so basically, we can plan any project in Sri Lanka because we know the terrain. So you name the project, we'll plan the project from the computer, and then we can go for field studies to see whether our designs are practical, and then we can start adjusting our designs and optimizing our designs. So at Department of Civil Engineering, we have huge capabilities and massive potential for teaching the engineers. So that's why our courses are so much sought after. Our MScs in structural engineering, geotechnical engineering, all are very much sought after courses. So basically, the situation is that we are doing damn well because a lot of consultancy money comes, and when you look at the staff of Department of Civil Engineering, we are publishing a lot, we are doing research, we are publishing a lot, and so on. So this project was under three project directors. All three project directors are my students, Mr. Kandam, Mr. Vijay, and Mr. Nilafar. Nilafar is from Peradeniya, but I taught him when he did our MSc in structural engineering. And Mr. Kandambi and Engineer Kandambi and Engineer Vijay, they are all my good students. I can't remember the exact year, maybe around 2005, 2006, that era they graduated. And they got vast experience, and now they are considered as go-getters by the ministry. And they are actually attached to Road Development Authority, but the ministry keeps on hiring them on secondment basis because they have now made a name for them as go-getters, and you just give any project, they simply make things happen. So basically, so we are again very lucky. We have superb project managers in Sri Lanka, and then we had the services of very senior engineers like engineer Dantanara, and he actually built the half a kilometer long Orugodawata flyover. And that project we saved. That project is 750 million rupees. With our value engineering, we saved about 200 million rupees to government of Sri Lanka. So he was the former general manager of State Development and Construction Corporation. He's one of the brilliant engineers, and today he's about 75 years of age, so he's not very active in construction. But during the Mattala extension, he was very, very active, and they did so many innovative things and ensured that the project is completed at a much lower cost. For example, Mr. Kandambi's section may be about 45-50 billion rupees. He did it, he completed that project about 9 billion less than the estimated cost. So when you read in papers that the expressways were, we have spent too much on expressways, you have to look at it carefully, because this is a project done under Yahapalne and from 2017. But one of the unfortunate things about our current Prime Minister is he starts projects but he never finishes, and then another government comes and they open the project as if they have actually constructed. Probably they have not done nothing, but it's all constructed by the Yahapalne. And in January or February, I think January 2020, the highway was opened up to Mattala and Andhra. And I think even Mr. Ranil Wickramasinghe was not even invited, probably, because he was not in power, probably, or probably he wouldn't have been there. I did not see him. And then though the designs were done by a private firm, the designs were so good. So actually Dr. Sujiva Levankamage got heavily involved in this. I did not get too much involvement because I was suffering from a nerve disorder that was created by holding the mouse in the wrong way. And when you're holding the mouse, you must make sure your elbow is fully supported, either on the table or on an armchair. But I was using a chair without armrest, so I got a huge nerve problem. So I did not. I was not active. I got involved once in a while, but not always. When there were real massive technical problems, I got involved. Otherwise, most of the construction related issues were handled by Professor Sujiva Levankamake of Department of Civil Engineering. He's a very experienced engineer, and his PhD is on structural dynamics of bridges, and he can design both box girder bridges and in an Eiger type bridges. He's a way his designs, he can produce designs very fast, and I trained him. Because we did some projects together, and he can also design buildings. So we are really. This is not usual. General bridge engineers don't design buildings. Building engineers never design bridges, but in our case, we can handle both bridges, buildings, flyovers, you name it, we can handle it. So at Department of Civil Engineering, we have a very special breed of people that you never find anywhere else in the world, because they are all-round designers. They are not tall building designers. They are not super tall building designers. They are not bridge engineers. They are all-rounders, so they can design tall buildings, super tall buildings. They can design bridges, flyovers, you name it. They can design it, and they can produce very optimized designs, because they have cracked the nut on designing highly optimum bridges. And I'm the guy who cracked it in 1980s, late 80s. I cracked the nut. So today we are some of the top engineers, bridge engineers of the world. So we can actually do anything, any structure, and even from buildings, even today's prices. What I say is there's no need to stop any construction project. If you give any project, give us the original value, we'll tell you how to complete the project for the original value. No need to stop any project if you have the original allocation. So basically, Southern Highway is one of our projects. We did it, although the construction was by Chinese contractor. Again, the Chinese contractor employed our engineers, our crushers, our people supplied materials, our engineers designed the project, and then our consultants were also there, and the project managers were our people. So it was one of our projects, very similar to Central Highway Stage 2. The only difference is the Matara Mattala extension is a Chinese loan, whereas we actually, consortium of our banks funded stage 2 of Central Highway. So that was again another Yahapalne project, and that was also again declared open later once their rule was over. Thank you.